Sydney Colson just dropped a bombshell that has the entire WNBA establishment shaking in their boots. The two-time champion walked away from guaranteed success with the Las Vegas Aces to join Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and what she revealed about her decision exposes everything wrong with how the league's old guard treats its rising stars. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about a veteran champion choosing faith over comfort, choosing growth over guaranteed rings, and choosing to stand with the new generation that the establishment desperately wants to control. When Colson made her shocking move to Indiana before the 2024 season, nobody understood why she would leave A'ja Wilson's side. They were best friends, championship partners, and the faces of WNBA dominance. But Colson saw something in Indiana that nobody else did. A chance to change the entire narrative around Caitlin Clark and prove the haters wrong. If you think Colson made the right choice standing with Caitlin, hit that like button and let the establishment know where you stand. The truth about why Colson left Vegas goes way deeper than anyone realized. In her latest interview, she revealed that God was pushing her towards something uncomfortable, something that would challenge everything she thought she knew about basketball. "Nobody was expecting me to be on this team," she admitted, acknowledging that the Fever were seen as the league's laughingstock from the outside. But Colson had insider knowledge that changed everything. She knew people within the organization who convinced her they could do something special, something that would change minds and flip the script on what everyone thought about Indiana. What happened next shocked the entire league establishment. Instead of keeping her distance from Clark, like many veterans were expected to do, Colson immediately embraced her new superstar teammate with genuine enthusiasm. She called the situation nuts and special during her introductory press conference, pointing out how people were traveling from different states and even different countries just to watch Clark play. This was a direct slap in the face to the old guard narrative that suggested no veteran would want to play alongside the controversial rookie sensation. But here's where things get really interesting. Now in 2025, with Clark dealing with injury setbacks and the Fever making major roster moves, including bringing in Sophie Cunningham from Phoenix, Colson's decision looks even more brilliant. The Fever aren't just building around Clark anymore. They're creating a super team that combines veteran championship experience with young, explosive talent. Colson saw this vision before anyone else did, and her faith in the project is paying off in ways nobody predicted. The pressure Clark faces is unlike anything the WNBA has ever seen, and Colson witnessed it firsthand. She described seeing a lighter side of Clark that the public never gets to see. The young woman underneath all that unprecedented attention and scrutiny. Players like Clark and Angel Reese came into the league with more notoriety and financial resources than any rookies before them. And that creates a mental burden that most people can't even imagine. Colson stepped into a mentorship role naturally, understanding that Clark needed more than just basketball guidance. She needed someone who had been through the championship grind and could help her navigate the insane circus surrounding her every move. When Clark got injured, Colson's role became even more crucial. She constantly reminded Clark to stay vocal with her teammates, to not let the injury isolate her from the team's chemistry. "Don't let it be a wasted season just because you can't physically contribute," Colson told her. This kind of veteran leadership is exactly what the Fever needed, and it's exactly what the establishment didn't want Clark to have. They wanted her isolated, overwhelmed, and eventually broken by the pressure. Instead, Colson helped build a protective shield around their franchise player. The way Colson handles the haters is absolutely savage and reveals her championship mentality. When asked about dealing with criticism, she basically said she doesn't give a DN about random people's opinions online. "I literally do not know you," she stated bluntly, explaining that for someone to hurt her feelings, she has to respect them and value their opinion first. "Some of the responses are just bots anyway," she added, showing how little she cares about the manufactured outrage machine that constantly attacks players like Clark and now Cunningham. What makes Colson's move even more significant is the timing. The 2024 season proved her instincts were right as the Fever transformed from league laughingstock to legitimate playoff contender. Now in 2025, with Cunningham joining the squad after her own controversial exit from Phoenix, the Fever are building something that terrifies the old guard. They're combining players who aren't afraid to speak their minds, who embrace the spotlight instead of running from it, and who understand that the future of the WNBA belongs to those brave enough to challenge the status quo. Colson's Instagram post at the end of last season revealed the real reason she made this move. She genuinely enjoyed this team and what they did on and off the court, even making jokes about their shower celebrations. But more importantly, she confirmed that she knew in the offseason that God was placing her exactly where she needed to be to grow and learn necessary lessons. This wasn't about basketball. It was about personal evolution and standing for something bigger than just collecting championship rings. The establishment wanted everyone to believe that veterans wouldn't support Clark, that she was too controversial, too much of a lightning rod for criticism. But Colson proved them completely wrong. She showed that real champions recognize greatness when they see it, and they're not afraid to stand beside it even when the entire league tries to tear it down. Her decision to leave the comfort of Vegas for the uncertainty of Indiana wasn't just brave, it was prophetic. Think about what Colson gave up to make this move. She walked away from guaranteed championships with the Aces, from playing alongside her best friend, A'ja Wilson, from being part of an established dynasty. The safe choice would have been to stay in Vegas, collect more rings, and coast on past success. But Colson chose growth over comfort, chose faith over certainty, and chose to be part of building something new rather than maintaining something old. The impact of Colson's leadership extends far beyond just basketball statistics. She's helped create a culture in Indiana where young stars can thrive without being crushed by pressure, where veterans and rookies work together instead of against each other, and where the focus is on winning basketball games instead of playing political games. This is exactly what the WNBA needs more of, and exactly what the establishment fears most. Now, with the 2025 season underway and the Fever making even bigger moves, Colson's decision looks like pure genius. She saw the potential in this organization before anyone else did, recognized that Clark was more than just hype, and understood that being part of something special means taking risks. The Fever aren't just another team anymore, they're a movement, and Colson was one of the first to recognize it. The relationship between Colson and Clark has become one of the most important in the entire league. It's not just about a veteran mentoring a young star. It's about two players from different generations proving that the manufactured drama and division in the WNBA doesn't have to exist. They're showing that players can support each other, laugh together, and build something special without all the unnecessary beef that certain media members and league officials seem to love promoting. What really pisses off the establishment is that Colson's move validates everything Clark's supporters have been saying. She's not difficult to play with, she's not selfish, and she's not the problem. A two-time champion with nothing to prove chose to play alongside her specifically because she saw the potential for greatness. That's an endorsement that carries more weight than any media narrative or anonymous source quote ever could. The lesson here is bigger than basketball. Colson's journey from Vegas to Indiana is about having the courage to follow your instincts even when everyone thinks you're crazy. It's about recognizing that sometimes the uncomfortable choice is the right choice, and that growth only happens when you're willing to step outside your comfort zone. She could have played it safe, but instead, she chose to be part of something revolutionary. As the Fever continue to build their super team in 2025, Colson's role becomes even more important. She's the bridge between the old and new, the veteran presence who validates the young stars while also keeping them grounded. Her championship experience, combined with her willingness to embrace change, makes her the perfect leader for this transforming franchise. The establishment might hate it, but they can't deny the results. The truth is that Sydney Colson saw the future of the WNBA before anyone else did. She recognized that players like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham represent where the league is heading, not where it's been. By choosing to stand with them instead of against them, she positioned herself on the right side of history. And that's something no amount of establishment pressure or media manipulation can change. If you believe Sydney Colson made the right choice joining forces with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because we're going to keep exposing the truth about what's really happening in the WNBA. The establishment doesn't want you to know these stories, but we're going to keep bringing them to you no matter what. Comment below and let us know. Do you think more veterans should follow Colson's lead and embrace the new generation of WNBA stars?